Please welcome to the stage Senior Vice President, Applications Development, Oracle, Christopher Leone.
All right. Woo, all right. Look at this. This is literally your last session of the day, so this is great. So thank you all for coming and staying late. This is, well, I can't say it myself. It's going to be a great session. You guys got a lot to talk about, a lot to get through, and we'll jump in. So I'm going to start a little bit on some of the what we've done over the last 3 or 4 events, whether they're OpenWorld or HCM World. We've made some big bets, some big commitments, and I'm going to talk briefly about those. But the main part of the session is to show you some of the new capabilities we're bringing to market. As my team knows, I love to get up and show product. I was just playing with some of the live demos in the back. It's all working, so we're ready to go. So this is it's going to be great event. I am going to be talking about a few things. So what's nice about how we're updating our SaaS or our cloud is we have quarterly updates now, so things are coming very frequently, and we have 2 events a year. So everything I'm talking about is either delivered now or delivered in the next 4 or 5 months. So it's a short term, but I still have to throw out the safe harbor to make sure that a few of these things are not in our SaaS fleet just yet. So what I'm going to talk about is a few of the kind of big things that we've done. So one of the things that I'm the most proud about, and you'll hear me say that at least 4 times in this session, but one of the things that I'm most proud about is the relationship that we have with our customers. And many of the customers, I can't see a lot of lights, are here. We talk to them frequently, we take their input frequently, and it really does influence our roadmap and influence our innovation. And I'm going to show you what that looks like and how we really do listen to our customers. The second piece is we're moving really fast. If we talk to, and I see it not only with our existing customers, but also with prospects. So when we're talking to prospects and maybe we showed them our product 12 months ago or 18 months ago, and maybe they put the decision on hold and we come back 12 months later, they're like, oh my God, this looks totally different. It's gotten even better than what it was 12 or 18 months ago. So we're moving at a very rapid pace, but we're doing it and we're not forcing customers to uptake all of the new capabilities, even the new user experience that we've delivered. So we're doing it with great care. We're giving you choice so you can adopt what we're delivering, even at a rapid pace, as it makes sense for your organization, which does cost us more to develop that way, but it allows us to keep innovating very, very quickly and allows you to manage change management within your organization. So it's really important that we talk about that. So some of the big bets. So I could spend like the next 45 minutes on this slide because we've done a lot of really big things over the years, and we've announced them and then delivered. And that's what I'm really proud about is we've taken on some big challenges. So many of you remember we acquired Deloitte 5 years ago, and we set out, we knew we had a vision that we wanted to get everything on a common platform, common object model, common data model. We set out to do that, and over the last 5 years, we completed that journey, finishing with recruiting and onboarding. Recruiting came late last year. Onboarding came earlier this year. And so we are now completely on one HCM suite, obviously coupled with ERP and supply chain. But one HCM suite where all of our modules are completely integrated, working off of the same data model, the same object model, which is great, huge accomplishment. We came out 3 years ago, 3.5 years ago at HCM World, lose track of time. We came out with something that we called social learning. We said this is the new way people are going to learn. It's the next generation, YouTube generation, where they want 3 to 5 minute videos. We built a rich media platform, and over the last 2.5, 3 years, we extended that with all of the great compliance capabilities, not only for North America, but for Europe. And we have some of the largest companies in the world that are live on our system today, including companies like Xerox and Hilton and Engie. And these are 100,000 plus users of our learning module, both inside and external learners. So from nothing to some of the largest companies in the world in a little over 2.5, 3 years is a phenomenal pace. Recruiting and onboarding, just delivered end of last year. We have 300 subscribers on that platform now. About 15% of them will be live by the end of this year, going at a really, really fast pace. Customers are really excited about the platform. We focused it around the candidate experience. We focused it around candidate relationship management. And now a big part of our investment is around new emerging HR technology, AI, ML, and how we can bring that to bear to help enable the recruiters and managers in their hiring process. So we'll talk more about that. I'll end with two things. We have the only, now I'm going to say this right because the analysts in the front row will quote me, but I'm going to say this right. We have the only cloud HR help desk that's on a single platform in the industry, okay? Only completely integrated HR help desk on a single platform in the industry. We're the only one. It's great, super popular. Last is we came out with a newsfeed user experience. I talked about it last year at OpenWorld. I'm going to give you updates throughout this session about where customers are at in that journey, and it's pretty incredible how far we came from what everybody said, oh my God, where'd you pull out that user experience from, to where they're at today. It's been phenomenal progress. So a lot has gone on. This is just, we've moved to quarterly updates. We had 3 updates this year. This is what we've delivered in 2018 from a product perspective. So this is a lot. Ton of features. So we're averaging between 300 to 450 features in every update, all of them turned off. You won't even see, I won't even get into how we're reducing downtime and reducing patching for payroll customers, not in this session, but a lot of work to simplify and reduce downtime. Converted to the newsfeed user experience, moving all of the employee and manager self-service and even HR operation area to this new user experience. Delivered 5 SaaS services, including help desk this year, came earlier this year, including onboarding, including knowledge management. So 5 cloud services, some great analyst ratings. So thank you to the analysts, but we're doing great. It's because of our great customers. A lot of new technology. So where we're different than some of the other vendors in the market is we don't just talk about like we're going to start working on this AI stuff, or we're going to make a bunch of acquisitions in AI, and then we'll figure it out. We've been delivering it, and we have it in our product today. We've delivered it to customers, and they're getting value from it today. And I'm going to talk to you about what the roadmap looks like going forward, and it gets even better. Last statistic on this slide, and then we'll move on, is our roadmap delivery. And we track, so if you work at Oracle, you know how we deliver roadmaps. It's a very regimented, revenue recognition puts a stamp of approval every time we come out with a new roadmap. It's really locked down. We track, and our customers and prospects track how we deliver against our communicated roadmap that we update 2 times a year. We have a 98% delivery rate on that roadmap that's published at these events, which is a very high delivery rate. So we're delivering on the promises that the big ones, and I would say the medium ones in our roadmap commitment. And we're always hiding a few innovative things behind the scenes, and we're going to show you some of those cool things. This is how you get involved. So one of the things that I always get asked is, how do we get involved? Now, I shouldn't be asked that anymore because there's so many opportunities to get involved. We have all of these different ways. We had 20 events last year, just physical events last year. We have Customer Connect, where we have thousands of people, 32,000 HR professionals come to Customer Cloud Connect. We have 14,000 comments or discussion threads. We have 8,000 ideas that we sweep up, and I'll talk about that in just a second. These are all the ways from the strategic view with the CIO strategy or council, the strategy council, looking 3 to 5 years out. Where are we headed? What's important from a HR perspective? What does the future of work look like so we can take that into our planning? We have customer advisory boards. This is where the blocking and tackling, the practitioners come in and give us feedback and help us guide our roadmap. We have a special, I call it Fred session. It's a special interest group in EMEA. It's by invite only. So if you see Fred, good luck getting an invitation. I've only been to one, so it's tough. It's tough to get there. But a lot of ways to get involved. But the biggest thing that you can take away, and I'm going to talk about the next slide, is we're listening to you, our customers. We're still at a pace where 80% of our features in every single release come from one of those 20 events that we hold, whether it's Customer Cloud Connect, or whether it's one of our councils, or whether it's a co-development opportunity. 80% of the features that are going into our releases are sourced from customers, which is great. So we're listening, and we're putting that in as guiding our roadmap. These are things that we swept up from the 8,000 ideas that we have on Customer Cloud Connect. And again, I said we had 14,000 discussion threads, comments, 32,000 members. These are just some of the features that were crowdsourced by you and our customers, and we put those into our product. Number one, I won't say number one, being printable org chart. I don't know who prints the org chart, but apparently all of you do. I never print the org chart, but it was something that I got so many comments on. You print it, you put it on the wall, and then print it again. So anyway, so a lot of things that it's there now, so I won't have to hear it anymore. Okay, let's get to the fun part of the session where I get to show some product. I'll get all hot and excited, but I'll try to keep it on the down low. So we'll keep it, as I say, real through this. So this is a slide. It's late. So this is a slide that really talks about when you've done as much as we have, when you have a single integrated HCM platform, that really is the broadest in the industry. We've developed in new areas. We have a whole suite of work-life applications. We have a great set of payrolls that we've rolled out, great workforce management, full talent suite, including HR, recruiting, all on a common platform. When you've gotten to that state, you have the ability to do and invest in some areas that is not the traditional path. Now, we're still going to have a robust feature roadmap, so don't walk out of here saying, hey, Chris is only going to do cool things. But we are going to do a lot of cool things. And I'm going to show you some of the things that we're doing, because the cool things are where we can push the envelope and where we can really change the game when it comes to automation, when it comes to the user experience. And those are some of the things that I'm going to show you what we're doing and how we're taking AI technology, adaptive intelligence, artificial intelligence, decision science, and how we're building that in to our products. And we're already delivering that today, and we have a very robust roadmap going forward. Things like digital assistants. I mean, 2 or 3 years ago, nobody was talking about digital assistants or chatbots, and now I go into every meeting, it's like, what's your chatbot platform look like? I can't say that really fast. Chatbot platform look like? And so got a lot. So we're going to get in, and let's talk about some of the stuff. I think I'm going to start showing some things here. Last year, not yet. Sorry, guys. Last year, I stood on stage, and we talked about a brand new user experience. So 1 year ago, although we pushed it back a month, but 1 year ago, I came out and I said, look at this new user experience. What do you think? We got awesome feedback. 1 year later, we've made significant progress. I'm going to give you some numbers in a second. We have many customers that are live. Oracle will be live in the November timeframe on the new user experience, and it's great. So that's going exceptionally fast. And we did more than just put a nice set of pages on the front end of our application. We really went and looked at how we can make the experience significantly better. And what we did is we call our SaaS fleet just that, a SaaS fleet. And we did 12,000 SaaS fleet scans of all different types of analysis, all anonymized, so we're not, we have restrictions obviously, but all anonymized to really get a sense on how users were using our system. So we could learn. We didn't have to guess. We didn't have to have 5,000 user experience groups come together and influence us. Now we did some of that, but we looked at what you were doing. So we first looked at your navigation paths to see how our navigation model was looked like and how easy it was. And we had something called the happy path, which means you find exactly the path that you need to go to and you execute that transaction. And we did scattergrams where we could see how many users did that, and then we had some users that were all over, not quite doing it. Then we had some users that looked like they had some other issues. But we came to the conclusion that we needed to dramatically improve how we provided a simplified navigation path within our system. I'll talk about that. The other thing that we did was we simplified we looked at every page and what fields were used on every page in both employee and manager pages, job change pages. And we came to the conclusion between 25 to 30% of the fields on every page are either not used in every transaction or never used. And we were shocked. We were like, what? How can this be? People put fields on a page because they're going to use them. I mean, maybe it's in one country or not all countries. So we started having interviews and talking to customers, and they were like, yeah, we don't know why that field's on the page. That's how our SI, and nothing against all the great SIs that we have, but that's how our SIs set it up. And so what we found was that we could simplify our pages by doing a couple things, and I'll talk about what we've done, but we did a lot of analysis on that. And then we realized, look, we had a mobile product, a mobile app, and we were only getting, 15, 20, 25% usage of that app. Global companies were having difficulty rolling it out at broad scale, and we got some feedback. Couple things, we have a really good extensibility engine, easy to personalize and extend our application. Very hard to do that when you build an app that's localized on, whether it's Android or iPhone. So we went to a mobile web responsive user interface and came out with that last year. Now we're seeing complete global rollouts of our mobile responsive UI because it's just a browser on any phone, very easy to roll out and deploy globally, simplifies so many things, simplifies security, you don't have to containerize the app, you don't have to train users on how to go to the App Store or the Play Store and download it, you don't have to take updates, dramatically simplified the experience. So all of these things went into what we're doing. Now I'm going to show you what the app looks like. I'm not going to spend a ton of time. So we've done some things on the personalization front. So if our UX team is here, Eileen is somewhere in the audience, and Ivy done a fantastic job on being able to personalize the page. So this is, I guess these aren't fall colors, but this is a very nice look. So you have the ability to really play with the background, and our SC team and our customers have done a great job really matching what their corporation wants their application to represent and look like, matching their corporate colors. We give a lot of flexibility on how you can change the icons, change the gradient of the icons. Everything that we've shown on the desktop, I'm going to show on the phone. When you build a mobile responsive user experience, it doesn't matter if you're on the desktop or the phone, the experience is identical. And so this is the experience on the phone. I'm going to show you a little bit about what we're doing here. Okay? So first, I walked you through what the user experience looks like, how easy it is. We have things to finish. We have news and announcements, very easy. We have analytics that you can leverage if you're a manager or you're an employee. But I'm going to show you a few easy things just so you can get a flavor of what the experience looks like. So updating simple things like contact information, very easy to do. I can change my address. What you're going to see is a lot of the ability to do things in line. You don't have to go to a different page. I'm going to call it Ocean, just because I'm road. I did it wrong. I'm going to submit that. I've updated my address. So simple things are very, very easy, very, very convenient. This quick actions area, so one of the things that we did was we wanted to simplify how easy it was to get directly to an event. So you don't have to search, go to My Team and find what you're doing. You can go directly to quick actions and find what you need. The same if you're managing people. You can go here and find what you need to manage people. But here, I'm an individual. I can have my favorites of things that I want to do most. But I'm going to go to what I call the secondary way that you can navigate. So we have very, very rich search capabilities as part of our platform. So what you can do here is, first thing that I'm going to do is we've introduced this notion of synonyms. So synonyms are money for pay slip, or I hurt my leg and it's going to take you to your medical benefits. So we've introduced synonyms that can be extended in our system. So first thing I'm going to do is I type money. It's going to bring me to my payment methods. So all of this, again, very convenient, very easy. I'm going to go and I'm going to update savings. Okay. And I'm going to put, how much are you supposed to put in? 15%? Is that what you're supposed to take off the top? I think that's what it is. So you can retire at some age. So now I could reorder these, but I'm going to take 15% out. So very easy to do, but I got to that from the search bar. I didn't have to know where to go find how to change how much I want to withhold from my pay slip. I just went in, typed money. It gave me all the things that were related to money. So now I'm going to show you a manager transaction. But I'm showing you this manager transaction because I'm going to talk to you about one of the big investments, the big ahas that we've delivered to really simplify how a HR specialist can design this experience now. And so what I'm showing you, and I'm going to walk you through a promotion flow. So very easily, I could go to my team, I could hit promote, and I could start the promotion flow. Or I can go to search, I can type the person that I'm looking for, which is Jen Jacobs. She's on my team. I can select. It shows me only the actions that I can take on Jen Jacobs, what role I have, what responsibilities I have. I'm going to promote her. We talked about this, I think, last year. This was a big idea that we had last year that's going over exceptionally well. It's called self-driving transactions. So we let Jen Jacobs select what she wants to do. She wants to change compensation. She wants to reassign her direct reports. So these are, when I come into the transaction now, I've driven the transaction to exactly what I want to do. But what I want you to look at is the first region is when and why. So just remember, when and why is basically when is this going to happen? What future dated? Hopefully it's future dated. Sometimes it's backdated. We'll talk about that in a second. But what future dated date you want this to happen on? I'm fine. I have different performance reasons. Outstanding performance. That's why I'm promoting her. We default. What manager? This is change job details. Okay, so I'm going into the next region. Change job details. This is the next defaulted set of job details. I'm not going to go through this entire transaction. I'm going to give her. We'll move her to 140,000, something like that. That's fine. I have some cool analytics that I can show. I'm going to continue. I'm going to reassign a few of her direct reports. I'm going to finish this thing. We make some recommendations, some intelligent recommendations with a real-time pick list here, so I can select who I want. Then I can submit that transaction. OK. So I'm going to show you something called the Design Studio. So what we designed, so if you see that transaction, I set it up so it was a self-driving transaction. I simplified the final transaction, simplified the number of fields in each one of those pages. But up until today, how that was done was you went into something called Page Composer, and you went into every single page, and you changed what fields you wanted to enable on every single one of those pages. And at best, HRIT could do it. But at worst, IT had to really enable and design most of the pages. We've changed all that today, and we're delivering something called the Experience Design Studio that dramatically simplifies how you can build these flows or these HR processes. So first is you define what transaction you want to execute, you want to build. So I want to build a promote transaction, just to show you what that looks like. Then I go into, and I'm going to set up a rule around page configuration. So I'm now going to define everything in one place, and it's so easy that anyone can do it. So first, I'm going to give it a name. So this is, I'm going to call it US promote and ops. And then I'll copy that, but I could give it a longer description. I'm lazy here. You now have the ability to define it by worker type, so very easy. By role, so what do I want the transaction to look like for a manager? What do I want the transaction to look like for an HR specialist? So I can do that. Worker type is like I wouldn't have promotion for a contingent worker, but I would for an employee, so I'm going to leave it as employee. Then I get to select legal employer. So here's one of the lessons that we learned, right? So what we learned was by lowest common denominator, our customers were designing transactions for all legal entities. So if the UK needed a field for religion, or if Germany needed a field for something else, they had to include that on the page. And so you come to the States and you're like, they want my religion? So we had to simplify how you could do that. So now you can select different legal employer. So I'm going to do it for US. And then by business unit. So business units are different, right? I could simplify a manufacturing unit from a services unit because I want to ask different things or have them fill out different answers. So I'm going to select operations. Some of these are multi-select, so I might want to do them the same for multiple regions. And now here's where the magic happens, as they say. So here are all the regions that are enabled. So everything you saw in that promotion transaction is now here. So now I can say, when and why, it's required and it's visible. I can make it not required. So some of these must be required, so they'll be defaulted in. But let's say salary. It's not required. I can make it still not required, but I can make it visible. So I'm building out my page for this particular business and legal entity. So once I do that, I define what regions I want to have. Then I go in, and this is even cooler. Now I go in and I can build the fields that I want on that page, right? So this is like incredible. And this includes all of our user-defined fields, which makes it even more powerful, right? So now I can say, look, we have some unions out here. I might want to put in the bargaining unit. I might require, these are required fields. So I might not require it, but I might make it visible. So now what I'm doing is I'm building out in the job details area what fields I want to show up when that legal entity and that business unit comes into that promotion transaction. And it's that simple. So I'm going to save that. I've saved it. I could change it. I could add more. I could effective datum. I have so much power to be able to do that. But it gets better. Okay, so now I've created that transaction, but now what I can do is I can start to create, I'm going to do employment. I can start to create rules, defaulting rules and validation rules that are global in nature. So now one of the top requests that I get is I don't want somebody to change their employment record more than 31 days in the past, right? Someone terminates, and I terminate them, 6 months ago, it messes up payroll, it messes up like 50 systems, right? So we want to lock down how users and when they can make changes or be smarter about defaulting, because if bad data gets into the system, who has to clean it up? The HR specialist or HR operations team. So if we can put better validation and better defaulting rules directly in the application, it's going to simplify the process. It's going to make less work on the back end, and it's going to make the users, if we're doing a really good job of defaulting, their job a lot simpler. So this is, I need to go back home because I have other things to show, not home here. Let's go back to my slides. So this is what we're announcing, which is the HCM Experience Design Studio. And we started out with a much less cool name, but it was so big that we elevated the name to the HCM Design Studio. It's great. It's coming. Some of it started now, but coming in the next release and a half where we're delivering. This is fantastic functionality and is really going to simplify the HR specialist role to deliver a great experience, because that's what it's all about. I mean, it comes down to the fit and finish of every page, every field, every validation, and how the system defaults the right information. And oftentimes when HR is handing off those policies, those rules, and that experience to IT, there's something lost in the translation. And so what we're trying to do is empower back HR to be able to do this. And so it's a lot of value, a lot of effort, and a positive aspect of this is it will simplify the configurations that most customers were doing directly in the page, because now we own them, so to make the system a lot easier for us to test and QA and perform and all those things, because we're writing the logic. So it's a great feature. As you can tell, I'm super excited about it. Okay, let's continue on. Oh, we thought about experience even down to some of the security capabilities that we're delivering in the product. So this is something called, we did this kind of under the radar, called location-based access control. So what this is, in simple terms, is you can have a set of roles at the office, and you can have a set of roles at home, and your security policies are different based on your location. Awesome. Because sometimes at home, you don't want people logging in and adding, employees and running payroll and doing certain processes that are high risk, so you want that only in the office. But at home, maybe you want them to view their pay slip and maybe log absences. But what's even cooler, and this is why I put it in the experience section, so that's great. But we dynamically generate the menu, so you don't go home and you have all the menu items and you keep clicking on every menu item that says access denied, access denied, access denied. You don't, that's terror, and then you get calls at the help desk like, what's going on with my mobile app? I can't get into anything, right? So here, we only show you what you have access to based on your location. So huge value from a security perspective, but even more value from a usability perspective. And I challenge any other HR enterprise vendor to do something like this. This is a lot of work and it's hard to do. And if you have an app that you deliver on the phone, you just can't do this, right? So this is mobile web responsive, and we dynamically generate all the menus and what you see directly on the phone. Extremely cool. All right, these are some of the, so we started out the newsfeed user experience with a number of customers that we wanted to have in the early adopter program. So we came out with 18A. We had a few customers. I wanted to have about 25 customers in 18B and kind of this early adopter program. So we could get feedback. I mean, we did a lot. I told you we did a lot in the model layer. We simplified things. We increased performance because we simplified a lot of things. We have this 800 millisecond per transaction goal for every click, or at least across all flows. So we did a lot. We tried to keep it at 25. But customers just kept turning it on and turning it on. And so earlier than we wanted, so we got a lot of feedback early, which was great. These are some of the early customers that are in the program that we've been working with. But we have over 100 customers that are live in production with the newsfeed today, and 359 that have turned it on in their stage environment. So it is going exceptionally fast as far as customers uptaking the new newsfeed experience. So fast, no, it's just going great. So it's excellent, and we're excited about the progress. And this is your chance, if you haven't done it yet, or you're not someone who's using our application and you want to, here is a great place for you to go take. I came up with this. So the only thing that I've done in the last year is I came up with something called it's true, the mobile challenge, because I was so proud about what we delivered. I said, I challenge anyone to do what we're doing in a mobile web responsive way, and we're so confident that you're going to love it. We put out a POC environment, and we're letting customers go on and go crazy with about 40 transactions and go do it themselves. So if you want to do that yourself, and you want to give feedback to the folks there or me personally, take the mobile challenge. It's located at the Marriott Marquis. Go. There's different times. You're going to love it. And if you have great feedback, send it to me. If it's not so great, Gretchen's in the front row, and she will talk to you. So please feel free to go. No, it's whatever. Next slide, please. Here we go. We're excited. All right, now let's talk about some of the cool things that we're doing in HR technology. So, we can talk about all the buzzwords, and we're doing a lot of things around the buzzwords of AI and ML and decision science, and we have a great roadmap, but we've also delivered a lot of great things. And I'm going to show you a few of the things that we've delivered. The first area, and if you went to Steve Miranda's presentation, he had these couple areas, recruiting and controls, that he talked about. But I love announcing the first and only, and I challenge anybody to tell me somebody else is doing this, but this is the first and only security and fraud monitoring system that's AI driven, and we're delivering this in our suite today. It is fantastic. It allows you, I call it the LifeLock of enterprise software, right? So if you have LifeLock and you get alerts on your phone that says, hey, check out this transaction, did you make it? Hey, somebody's using your your credit card on the dark web, those types of things which aren't great, but at least you can go and understand what's happening and try to take some sort of action. That's exactly what HCM Controls does. It looks at security, it looks at HR policy, potential fraudulent transactions, and continuously monitors your system. And it provides events and alerts and notifications to people responsible so they can take action. And I'm going to tell you where the AI part comes in just a second. Let me show you. This demo is, since we don't have all the time in the world, I'm just going to show you one of the notifications that you get. This relates to sensitive access. So one of the things that is a GDPR requirement, but a lot of controls organizations want to be notified and approved when sensitive access is given to somebody in the organization. Huge requirement. GDPR requires it. We're delivering this. This is like the LifeLock alert that says, hey, do you want to give sensitive access to this person? Forgot their name in the demo, but I would if they reported to me. I approved it. Now let's go back to the slide. Big demo there, but I want to show you. You get those notifications. They come on your phone, so you can take action. Where the AI part comes in is we have 150 different types of controls that we've delivered in our system. So they monitor who has access to what. They monitor payroll activity. They monitor expense activity, a lot of financials activity. They monitor changes in bank accounts, right? So there's a lot of phishing that goes on with your employees who sometimes just don't know any better and change their bank account number. We can look for those anomalies in the system and route those to the right person to take action. Now, we use an AI technique called supervised learning, where we're getting smarter about false positives over time. So if the auditor is saying, yes, this is fine, this is fine, this is fine, we get smarter in the system. We don't start elevating those anomalies to somebody to approve. We know that they're okay in the system, so we're looking for different anomalies. So it keeps changing and learning as more interactions from users happen. So that's an AI technique. We use a graph to do that and bring those transactions or those anomalies forward for people to take action or reduce the number of ones if they're no longer relevant. So using AI and ML as part of HCM Controls, and again, the first security and fraud monitoring system that's AI-driven ever delivered in enterprise software. Please tell me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty confident. And if you're interested, we have a white paper that's available. You can get educated and bring it back so you can keep your transactions and your system more secure. It wouldn't be a technology session or update if we didn't talk about technology and recruiting. It's the hot space. We've invested a lot in recruiting, changed how we thought about recruiting, moved to a candidate-centric model, really focused on candidate relationship management. I'm going to show you some campaigns in the demos, creating audiences. But what we're trying to achieve here and where we focused our first set of technology investment was around increasing the quality of candidates throughout the entire sourcing process, right? So today we know how it works. I won't tell you if you're a recruiter, you're a manager recruiting. You tend to cast a really wide net. You guys are all invited to apply for my Java engineer position, and then I'm going to have to spend the next month sorting through resumes because 90% of you might not be qualified, go through, or maybe you all are. But cast a wide net, and then recruiters spend all of their time trying to find the right candidate and not getting matches. So what we really focused on is trying to augment the recruiter experience with technology. And if we can help increase the quality of the candidate throughout the pipeline, whether they're looking at internal people, whether they're looking at external people, whether they're active, whether they're passive, and bring the best candidates forward and learn from the recruiters or multiple recruiters' experience and use that knowledge in the system, we can make the system better. So that's our focus. So I am going to start with I have a campaign. So campaign is so part of the candidate relationship part of our recruiting application, you can create campaigns, initiatives. You can create target audiences or audiences that you want to go invite. So audiences consist of different types of candidates, maybe in different geographies or different locations that you want to invite that meet the criteria that you're looking for, and you create a campaign goal. I want to get 100 qualified candidates, and I need to fill 5 job requisitions. So that's kind of the scenario. First, I'm going to jump into the invitation to apply. This is the audience that I've created. So as I'm creating an audience, I'm looking for 5 global people to join my team, different backgrounds. I have different locations that I'm looking in, Hong Kong, Sydney, truly global position, every continent. But I'm getting a recommendation. So we use some AI techniques called observational learning. We look at who's been successful within our organization to help find better fits of candidates that might be successful if they come into our organization, have similar backgrounds, and I get recommendations to increase my audience participation by looking at another geography that might be of interest. I have a location here, so I'm able to add 1,200 potential candidates that should yield about 20 additional participants. So we're using AI to help with that recommendation. Again, looking at what users, what recruiters are doing, what managers are doing, so we can learn. I also have the ability to see how my email campaign is going, so I can see who's accepted it, who hasn't, what's bounced back, so I have some email marketing. And it's the exact same on the desktop. So I come in, and this is my goal, so easier to see here. So my goal was 100 participants. I'm looking for 5 requisitions. I have 34 applicants here. So this is just my overall campaign statistic that's being built up. I can go see the details. So these are the details of that campaign. But what I have here is we're looking at one particular requisition and who has applied. I have 13 applicants. I can see most of them aren't great fits, right, or aren't great matches to what I'm looking for. And the traditional search algorithm, the way you match is you look at the job requisition and you try to match the profile of the candidate to the job recommendation, job requisition, and how close the match is, that's your match. But we've added some additional factors to make it best fit. We look at related titles, related profiles, so kind of something called a nearness indicator. So if it's similar to that position, we can increase our hit rate and quality of candidate. And here I'm starting to see more higher qualified candidates that I can add and bring into my talent pool. So I can get a richer set of candidates that I want to add in for this particular goal of 100 to get to fill those 5 jobs. So again, leveraging, let's go back to the presentation, leveraging AI to augment some of what we're doing around finding the best fit candidate and increasing the quality of hire or increasing the quality of candidates that we get into our pipeline, and ultimately increasing the quality of hire in our recruiting system. So leveraging AI to do some of that. Now, the next area that we're going to talk about, and this is really, who would have thought, 2-3 years ago, in the consumer world, we started seeing, I would call them digital assistants, because 50, 60, 70% of the time, they're live agents behind that particular chatbot or digital assistant. And it really hasn't penetrated the enterprise world. So we started with a delivery of digital assistants in recruiting in 18B for the candidate experience. And now we're following it up with a large number of digital assistants in the HR system. I'm going to show you what that looks like. And the focus, let's go to the demo. The focus of these is really on the what we found from HR help desk use. So we were looking at how our users were using their HR help desk and what types of level 1, tier 1 questions they were getting asked. So we could enable a chatbot or a digital assistant to answer some of those questions. So first, I can ask, I just changed address. What is my profile? So now I can start to ask some simple questions of my digital assistant here. There you go. All right. This is live. So digital assistant. So what is my profile? I see my address. I can ask a whole lot of HR questions. Who is my HR rep? Oh, HR rep. So I can see who my HR rep is. I can ask, this is the big one, show me my vacation balance, right? You're all going to be using this one, day one. But it does more than just vacation balance. What it does is it asks me if I have any future dated vacation that I might have in the system. So what did I already book? Oh, look, I'm taking a ton of vacation off coming toward the end of the year. I don't have much left that I can take. So I can do that. Then I can see, then it really gets interesting. So show me my payslip. So now I can see my payslip, but I don't show you everything on the payslip. So what's great here is I provide a link back into the mobile web responsive application, and now I can see what my payslip looks like, and I can drill down and see what my payslip actually is without pulling all that confidential information into SMS. So it's great. I can see I want to change salary. So let's look at some manager self-service transactions. So this is one where I want to, yeah, sure. I want to promote this person along with changing this. I might not know what the actual transaction is that I want to execute against, but I know I want to promote somebody, and I know I want to change their salary. Sure, but I'll say yes to see other transactions, but I'm going to go, and where this takes me is to that promotion flow. Gave me another message, but now I go back in, I can select who I want to promote, and I'm right back in the promotion flow where I started. So again, using the digital assistant to simplify my transactions. And then finally, show me my approvals. So what's really cool is now I don't have to go into the system. I can have the system bring all my approvals to me. So I can do that. I can go through all my approvals. I'm gonna end it here, and we'll go back. But let's go back to the slide. These are all of the areas that we're delivering chatbot or digital assistant capabilities across our HR suite. So things like I want to give anytime feedback. I can give anytime feedback to anybody in my organization on my phone in my SMS area. I want to ask who my dental provider is and what's my dental ID card number. I can do that through my digital assistant on my phone. So trying to simplify the transactions that you can have access to directly without ever having to go into the system. So dramatically simplifying how you access and the experience that you have within your HCM system. So a ton of new technology, a ton of new capability coming. And wait, if you come to HCM World, you'll see the next generation of digital assistants that we're delivering. This is just the start. It's a whole lot of them, simplifying the experience, but we're just starting. We're going to start to take advantage of AI and ML to make these smarter digital assistants as we go forward. So that's the next step for us. Next slide, please. And this is going so fast, no white paper yet, but we do have a conversation that's going on in our Customer Cloud Connect. So if you want to get involved, you have ideas for us, please join the conversation, and we'll listen to you, and you can influence our roadmap. Now, we've gotten so much feedback on innovation. What are you guys doing around innovation? HR technology is changing the future of work. What is Oracle doing? That we're starting something called an Innovation Council. And so this will be by invitation only, so don't crowd rush me at the end of the session to say you want to join. But by invitation only, we're looking for customers that are leveraging the latest and greatest technology to drive the future of work within their organization. And we want to partner with you so you can help us drive the next set of use cases that are important and valuable to your organization. So we're focused on this, and we're starting an Innovation Council probably later this year. More information will come out, but it's something where we really want to participate because it's moving so quickly. We don't just want to add technology for technology's sake. We want to add it where it adds value to what you're doing from an HR perspective. So we're looking to partner with you for that. And I will end here. I thank you. You guys were great. I have a couple things. So first and foremost, our customers are influencing our roadmap and influencing our innovation. I mean, it's a key part of what we do every day, and your voice matters and helps us drive what we're doing in the product. We're moving at a very, very rapid pace. As you see, things are coming very, very quickly. We're innovating. But we're doing it with great care. So we're not forcing these changes on our customers. Everything is turned off in your system so you can adopt new technology as you see the value to do it. So just know that while we're moving fast, we know there's change management that needs to go on within your organization. So we're taking great care as we deliver a lot of the new capabilities. And hopefully you see we're having some fun. There's a lot going on. There's a lot happening here this week, a lot of customers presenting. So please spend time with our customers. Go to as many customer sessions as possible, and hopefully you enjoyed what's coming next. Thank you very much.